Vicki Malloy's introduction says the recreational use of marijuana was legalized in Washington State in 2012. Licenses for production and processing of marijuana opened for an initial 1-month period occurred in November 2013, and final rules were adopted in December of that same year. From there, by 2014, marijuana grows and processors began popping up all over Chelan County. Vicki Malloy will bring us behind-the-scenes view of the marijuana industry from her own experiences.
The number one role of the newly formed Liquor and Cannabis Control Board was to enhance the security of individuals in Washington State and protect them from the decisions made with regard to liquor or cannabis. And what had happened as a result of that, the Cannabis Board stated in their laws that came out that a processing facility or a grow could not be any closer than 1,000 feet to a school, to a child care facility, to a park, or to any facility that children congregate at. Now, how many of you think that that was an adequate ruling for protecting the citizens of Washington State? I didn't think so. What we found out since then is that industrial areas, they were allowed to place the marijuana facilities in industrial areas, but in a number of cases, rural residential abutted the industrial area. So as an example, the experience I'm going to share with you is my husband and my experience. And that is that our marijuana facility, which is not ours, but we call it ours because it is 70 feet outside of our door, front door. These are examples you might want to pass around. This is the fanning facility, or the housing for the fans. The fans are so loud that I have to go inside to talk on the phone. Within these grows, there were 7 hoop houses that were built. And those hoop houses are the ones that contain the plants that are budding. And each of those hoop houses have windows where the fans blow the air towards our property. In this case, this is the driveway that we have that goes around the facility, which is, I'll explain to you as I move further. And then I think in one of those pictures you're going to be able to see that the plants are located outside everywhere where a plant can be placed inside the fencing. Now, originally when these people came on, this was just a CA building and an old regular storage and the old Malaga co-op warehouses. They came to us and they said, we want to put in a marijuana facility here. And we, my husband being former law enforcement, and myself, I am a person that is in recovery. I spent 29 years of sobriety and without anything that could impact me. And so to have this happening right next door was a very scary prospect. So I said, look, and I explained to him our situation. And he said, don't worry, you're not going to smell anything, you'll never know we're here, no problem, it's okay. And so the other thing was, as I said also, I want to be able to see the stars at night. And he said, no problem at all. But what we found last year, and it was just last year when we started noticing the problem lasted for 3 months, between the months of August through October. And the smell that came out of that facility was like a skunk. terrible that at first it was just a skunk that might be passing by. We didn't know what it was. Then it became so strong that within our home we could smell the skunk. We woke up with it in our bedroom, on our clothes. It was something that we weren't ready for, and we were quite upset over it. Furthermore, in the 2 outside greenhouses, they had these bright floodlights, and it filled the night sky and our bedroom, even with the curtains closed. So needless to say, neither my husband or I were happy. We went to the owner of the facility, and we told him, hey, you promised. And he said, okay, well, I'll put filters on the fans. He put filters on the fans, didn't do anything at all. And we went back to him again, you promised. And he said, oh my gosh. He said that, that he could not afford to put the filtration system in that was required. Unfortunately, he didn't know what a resource I am. As it turns out, I'm on the Chelan County Planning Commission, and this issue came before us. And the Planning Commission made some recommendations to the county commissioners, who then placed a ban on marijuana growing and processing facilities, with the exception those in existence can operate as a non-conforming use. In the meantime, we were to find solutions to the problems, and I had all the solutions. I found filtration systems. I found the sniffer to sniff it. I found lighting systems that were going to work. And I went in, and I was asked to be on the committee for marijuana. I went in with the idea of, I've got the solutions. I'm going to help you guys, and we're going to give them the things they need to do, and we're all going to be happy. But I didn't know that they really didn't want a solution. They want to sue the county for everything they have in order to avoid following through with the solutions. But in the meantime, a group of us that included growers did come up with some recommendations that are going to be now made into county code. And from county code, it's going to come back to the Planning Commission. Our recommendations, after some conversation, will then be sent to the county commissioners, and at that point, some decisions will be made. My hope is that the county commissioners take this seriously. I hope that, in accordance with our recommendations, that any enforcement or permitting or conditional use permits associated with this will then be the responsibility of the growers and processors through fees, and also that the enforcement will actually be put into place. I want to thank you for listening, and that's it.